Great. Welcome to Propelligent Growth Podcast. I'm Jamal Hirani, founder of Propelligent, and I'm really delighted I've got Joy Lewis joining me today. And we're going to have a very interesting conversation. Joy, you've been building LightBridge for nearly a decade. Uh, First as a commercial SaaS play, and in 2024, you made a very interesting move. You formalized a non-profit arm separately as LightBridge Charitable Solutions. Now, most founders never ask themselves this question, but I think you have, which is what you should be doing less of or stop entirely to actually move the needle on growth. And that's what we're digging into today. Um, so let me set the stage. You've got dual models operating now, the for-profit SaaS platform and the charitable arm. You've got veterans, families, communities, non-profits as target market. You've got a consulting background and a staffing background. There's a lot of optionality. So before we talk about what to stop, help me understand this. Where is Lightbridge Life objectively strongest right now?
Right now, we're strongest in working with nonprofits and sharing our platform. What we've found is that a lot of nonprofits are looking for a private branded space without all the noise of traditional social media platforms. And
Right.
so that's become a high need, easy focus for us because it's really just sharing what we've built.
So where is attraction clearest at this moment in time? Is that in that sector?
In most of what we've done is worked with veterans. And so a lot of our nonprofits are veteran related or providing services to military. So that's where our focus is. I mean, any individual nonprofit can, if they're serving and they're mission driven and they're serving a population of people, it's really about building a community. It's about the daily check-in, the routines, the support that can be offered through the app and through our mobile device. Everyone uses it for everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
all we're doing is we're kind of changing up the old website where you want to go find information, and we're putting all the information for these nonprofits on the app and on people's phones so they have access to it. So I would say that's probably our strongest area right now.
Okay, very good. So where would you say? So that's what you'd say is where your kind of market fit signal is the loudest.
Hmm. Right now, yes.
Okay, okay. And which vertical has kind of the fastest adoption, the highest engagement, the strongest retention, and kind of the best unit economics for you?
Now that's an interesting question because everyone that looks at the app kind of has a different application and a different purpose for it. So I
Right.
would say, I mean, we're working with a lot of behavioral health therapists. We're working with nonprofits who deal a lot with family challenges, domestic violence, behavioral health. I mean, there's not one single area. You know, a lot of our first responders and our veterans, they get support from a lot of different nonprofits. In fact, here in Omaha, we had a veteran meeting and 70 nonprofits showed up that serve our military in our area. So there's no lack for potential clients within this vertical. So, but our true goal is to keep the app free for all of our military, and so that's where the dual purpose comes in, and that's where
Got
we
it.
focus, trying to get all of our nonprofits for our military families and first responders on the app.
Got it. So tell me the flip side too. I mean, what activities are you currently doing that feel necessary but aren't generating clear return on investment?
I just had this conversation with one of my staff members, and the hardest thing for me is the constant awareness and outreach. Awareness and outreach brings very little quantitative ROI back. So sometimes I struggle with being involved in all of the network groups and all of the other things that are going on, but it's necessary. So, but I do struggle with being able to quantify that back to something that is tangible for me. But awareness is absolutely vital. I know that visibility is necessary. It's just very hard when you're trying to do so much that it's hard to focus on that. But we do. We make
Yes.
it a priority.
I mean, here's, what I'm hearing from a lot of mission-driven founders too. I mean, you've built a platform that could theoretically serve anyone, veterans, TBI survivors, caregivers, general wellness, non-profits as white label clients. And that's powerful optionality, but it's also expensive optionality. Um, and every market segment you try to serve requires, separate go-to-market strategies and messaging, different partnership ecosystems, and tailored feature developments, and fragmented marketing spend, and divided leadership attention. So here's my question: if you had to rank your current market segments by strategic value per unit of effort, what does that ranking kind of look like?
Well, I will tell you, Jamal, our flexibility is our greatest strength and our greatest challenge at the same time.
Right,
Because yes, it is very hard to focus when so many people can do so many different things with it. Um, right now, nonprofits and mission driven organizations are our focus. Veterans and first responders would be our second focus, caregivers and
right.
healthcare, and then general wellness. So each one benefit by the app, but our concentration on the deepest impact and not so much on the reach, right? So we want to be very focused and impactful in the area of nonprofits and mission driven organizations, and preferably those who are supporting our veterans.
So let's get surgical. I mean, I want to walk through kind of three categories of stop doing. So you tell me which one feels most relevant. Category A, I mean, could you accelerate growth faster by going deeper into one or two verticals?
Absolutely.
Or okay, maybe veterans plus nonprofits or TBI survivors plus caregivers, rather than trying to be everything to everyone. What would you have to stop pursuing?
We have had this discussion, which is so strange that we're having it again. I just had this discussion, and we have stopped concentrating on individualized support. All of our support now, and the reason is the engaged members come through community organizations, is what we're finding. Measurable outcomes, much more engagement, much more activity, much more focus on their own individual and community well-being when they come through a community partner versus an individual just downloading the app to use it. So our focus now is strictly on nonprofits and those serving a community with a mission based or a mission driven focus.
Got it. Okay, so if we looked at kind of business model elimination, you've got the for-profit and non-profit structures now. Is there operational redundancy? Could you simply simplify one to amplify the other?
I would say most of our nonprofits will follow the same structure of implementation. And it isn't,
Right,
I mean, to us, it doesn't matter what their mission is. It matters to
right.
them what their mission is, because that's how we're going to help them use the app and apply the app's abilities and features. But for us, it's the same process no matter what nonprofit we're working with.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Um, well, let's look at the third category, which is kind of activity elimination. Um, this one's always the hardest for good people, which, kind of which recurring activities are draining bandwidth without moving the growth metrics? Is it partnership, programs, features, communication channels? What if you just stopped any of those?
That's a hard question for me. Um, I think for Lightbridge, the focus was always on helping everyone, right? And so to try to narrow that down it is difficult because the complexity around what we're offering fits so many places and so many things. So, but I do believe right now our focus is implementation. Um, we have a small amount of our bandwidth being shared as far as outreach and awareness But right now we have a line of nonprofits that have to be implemented and have signed up to be implemented. And so our focus right now has had to shift to just strictly implementation and training. We do a lot of train the trainers. So we're training the nonprofits. And so our implementation and training is where we are right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, most founders think growth acceleration is about addition, new features, new markets, new partnerships. And you've got the opposite problem. You're at capacity with too many options. So if you had to cut ruthlessly in that area we just identified and we just discussed, what becomes possible in the next 12 months that isn't possible now? Is it better product? Is it faster iteration, deeper market penetration, stronger unit economics that attract capital?
I think it is. I think with nonprofits and veterans or the nonprofits serving our military is our focus. So I think that with that we will scale faster and it will make our product stronger because we're getting really really good feedback. We're getting actual nonprofits who are saying I need to do this or I would like to do this or my the people that we serve need this. And so I think our product becomes stronger by
Right.
focusing in this area, but I also think that we have more of ability to have measurable outcomes. And I think that's the hardest part when you're trying to do everything for everyone, it's hard to get those measurable outcomes in an area that you need them. I think with doing this, we eventually focus will be strength for us,
Mhm.
quality over quantity. And I think from that, we will open new markets.
Got it. Okay. I mean, um, here's the harder question, right? What's the kind of organizational or personal resistance to making some cuts that we discussed earlier? Is it mission or fear of disappointing a stakeholder, or is it just inertia?
It's definitely mission, and it's mostly me. My vision when we built Lightbridge was we ourselves were facing a challenge. And so that's where the app came from. It came from a personal challenge that we were facing and we were trying to overcome. So once we did that, I wanted to help everyone. I wanted to help everyone overcome that same challenge. Well, so my resistance has been what's kept everything out there and everything a focus because I wanted to help everyone. It, it took me a while to realize that clarity is kindness. Clarity is kindness to the mission, it's kindness to my team, it's kindness to the people that we serve. And with my inability to be focused and specific and clarity, um, I'm not betraying the mission. It took me a while to get there because I felt it was counterintuitive to me to cut things because everyone is unique. We are truly uniquely and individually made. And when you start cutting back on things, I felt like I was taking from people when
Right.
actually I was just making the app more sustainable.
Well, that makes sense. So let's say, okay, if you walked away from this call and had to make one meaningful elimination decision in the next 90 days, something that would free up resources and signal strategic focus, what would it be?
We're going to pause individual outreach. We're going to pause reaching out to every nonprofit, unless, of course, they reach out to us. We are going to focus on our nonprofits who are serving our military veterans, and we're going to deepen those partnerships. We're not really what I wouldn't say we're shrinking our vision, but we're refining the delivery product. So I think reaching more individuals with greater consistency and greater engagement will be what comes from that focus. But it's very hard for me to do that.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. So look, Joy, here's what I'm taking away. Growth isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about having the courage to do less, but better. Um, the founders who scale fastest kind of aren't the ones with the most ideas. They're the ones willing to say no to everything except the one thing that matters most. If I get that, have I got that takeaway right?
You do. It is not easy, but it is necessary.
Great. Listen, I really appreciate your time. This has been really fun talking to you. Um, if people want to learn a bit more about you and Lightbridge, where's the best place for them to do that and to be in touch with you?
Website, lightbridgelife.com is the best
Okay.
place to go. You can reach out to me through the website as well, so then you don't have to worry about trying to find an email address. But my email is joy@lightbridgelife.com. And I look forward to hearing from anyone who might have some input. And I appreciate you doing this with me, Jamal. When you reached out, I was honored. And so thank you for doing that.
No, no. Thank you for being a wonderful guest and on a great business and a great mission. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome, sir.